Hi, it's me. I've just finished this book, The Interplanetary Adventures of Mars Patel, which is a sequel to the first book in the series of The Unexplainable Disappearance of Mars Patel. Bit of a Mars Patel mouthful there, but I digress. This book originally started as a podcast in which there are 3 seasons, one for each book. However, the third book has not come out yet. I'm getting off topic. Anyway, when I started listening to the podcast when I was much younger, I thought, wow, it must be so amazing to see these things up close. But of course I would have to remind myself that these were fictional places and characters. When the first book came out, the cover art showed one of the most important places in the book, which was interesting, but it's just one of the artist's renderings. But then book 2 came out. Again, some really interesting cover art, but what got me interested was this. Page 76. This got me thinking, I could make this. Not in real life, obviously, and certainly not to scale. But then I had a thought. I decided that I would turn to something that's been the face of my channel for years. I turned to Minecraft. The first thing I did was lay an outline. The main parts of the colony consisted of the windmills, weather tower, 4 domes, old colony, tunnels, sublevels, and vehicle bays. Afterwards, I started building the first dome. After a very long 1.5 hours of time-lapse, I finally finished the first dome. I then did the rest. First the west dome, then the east dome, and lastly the north dome. I had already finished the windmills off camera, so next I worked on the tunnels. To give y'all a bit of surprise, I did the rest of the work off camera. So here is the completed and finished Mars Patel colony. Alrighty, we have loaded up the Mars Patel colony world, and this is what it looks like. Oh, it's wondrous. Very laggy, but we're going to ignore that. So this is the South Dome. This is where all entrances and exits to the colony are, as it is the only place with functioning spacesuits. If the interior is a little bland, that's kind of because there's really not much you can do with this type of stuff, and there were no details that you could really do to make this place feel a little more alive. This is the one I had the most fun with. This is the communications dome. So this has all of the way to contact back to Earth. It's a bunch of control stuff, and we have this energy core that I really like, and we also have a vehicle bay. It just has a couple of rovers. Don't question how the rovers managed to turn these weird kind of buses in that cramped area. This is meant for aesthetics, not for realism. And you can yell at me in the comments all that you want. Please don't. So the North Dome I had a little bit of confusion with, because in the blueprints that I showed earlier, it says that this one is the greenhouse. However, in the cover art, this is the dining dome, and the west dome is the greenhouse. A few pages after the blueprints, there's a specific menu for all of the stuff, So I've made all the barrels have the foods that you would have. So this is lettuce because they had lettuce tacos, and this is my attempt at the taco shell. There's really not that much food stuff in Minecraft. We need a food update. Come on, 1.19. You're putting in frogs and tadpoles. Give us some food. Strawberry sorbet surprise, which I just got potions of healing for. Improbable meat burgers. Yes, it says improbable meat, so I'm going to use rotten flesh. And green beans and refried beans. So we're growing 3 types of things. Potatoes, carrots, and Russian red kale. Yes, those are beetroots, but in the story, Russian red kale provides a very important part in one of the characters' escape plans. This tunnel has the entrance to the weather tower. We have a lookout station where we have a view of the windmills and every single thing. You're probably attracted to the giant black dome with fire on it. Now, before I show you this, I just need to make something clear. For all of the science nerds, me included, I am also a science nerd who will be watching this video. Let me put this out here. I understand that on Mars, the atmosphere is mostly made of carbon dioxide, therefore does not have oxygen and cannot support a fire. I thought about that when building this. This is the old colony. If they told us in the book how the colony was destroyed, then I would have made the colony destroyed based on that. However, as it was slightly still functional and I just knew it was destroyed, I decided to have a little bit of fun with how it was dead, okay? So take the fire. Aesthetics, people. Aesthetics! We have this giant crater seemingly caused by a meteor. It's completely black on the inside to give it the kind of feel that it's been abandoned. And there's not anything here except for the outline I used to make it. Here's the quote-unquote best part of the build. This is the tardigrade habitat. You might have heard the term tardigrade thrown around in like your biology class or something. They're not this big. In the book, the tardigrades, or at least the ones that are on Mars, are incredibly massive. They're no longer those tiny little microscopic water bears that can survive in space. Here, they're giant, and they make giant poops too. They just do that. They feed on Mars rocks and eat chemicals, but somehow make some massive digestion tracts. They're currently not moving because I loaded them without AI so that they wouldn't trigger any of the pressure plates to get back into the colony, because I didn't want them to break the redstone, but also just because it was easier this way, and I could get them in the right dang spot, and yeah. So that's the colony. Or is it? Loyal Mars Patel readers or viewers will know that there's a little more that still has a lot of value left in the colony. There's not on the surface. We're going to start heading on the ground to the 3 sublevels. The first sublevel has technology and math and stuff involved. We're going to come back to it. We're going to start with the second sublevel. The second sublevel is really simple. It's just dorms. I didn't really know what to do here. There's not really that much, but there is a crucial detail in the book that one of the characters say that all the outfits were kind of just bland because it helps draw attention to who you are rather than your clothes. So I just put on some boring leather clothing in the wardrobe. All the rooms are identical. I used Red's beds because in Minecraft that's the only bed that you can really use to make it look good, with a little bit of barrel for personal storage like a nightstand and a flower. Sublevel 3 is big and empty. The reason for this is that sublevel 3, apart from having a medication ward, is simply the emergency evacuation room. Now what you guys have been waiting for, the first sublevel, which I gave you a brief look at and then said, we're going to come back to this. Let's go take a look at that. For those of you who are not into maths, skip ahead to the number I put on the screen. There will be a number there that'll tell you when you can go back to watching the video, because I'm about to hit you with some relatively decent maths and science and stuff. People who didn't want to hear that, welcome back. We're going to keep continuing with the tour. There's really not that much left. Alder is power generator, which takes energy from the plutonium reactor I just talked about and puts it in this little electrical box, which provides power for the colony. The rest is storage. It's just storage. What can I tell you?